no matter what, you have to put yourself first. If you're not aware that there's change that needs to be made, how can you fix it? This information is fire. I had to come to the realization that, number one, I was an emotional eater. We need to accept the decisions that we make, because if we can do that, then we have the power to change them. You came here so that way you can start moving into your heaven path. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow, we are having some technical issues today. My camera was acting just fine, and then all of a sudden, it's not. Man, listen, there must be some information that someone needs today, because there are so many technical difficulties. We had to change links, so I'm glad that some of you are here. Appreciate y'all for coming. We're going to be 1 second and I guess give some people time to get in and kind of get going. So just bear with us one moment as we get going here. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So today, we are going to talk about a couple things. For those of you who are unfamiliar, once again, I apologize for my camera being glitchy and the change in the schedule. But maybe this will be a good thing because typically we do these lives and we are in AHA communities, but because of the way that we had to do it today, we are live on YouTube, which is a little different than we normally do. So maybe someone will see something that they normally wouldn't have because they're not part of AHA communities. And I had to take a second to compose myself. Maybe this is important for somebody. So besides all the technical issues, just pay attention to the actual content and we'll kind of go from there. But for those of you who are not familiar, AHA has been introduced a few months back to a type of technology. And it's not something that we typically don't bring things to the community as far as like products and things of that nature. And the purpose of that is because we make sure that we protect our community. Protect our community from people that are just trying to sell stuff to the wellness community, and because you all trust us in providing knowledge and tools and information, and we definitely appreciate that, and we want to ensure that you are all getting good information. But also, anytime that we talk about products or anything of that nature, you're getting something that is actually going to be helpful and beneficial. So for those of you who are familiar with the patches and the LifeWave product, then some of this information will be you may have heard before. Some of this information will be new, but we'll get into it a little bit. Yeah, bear with me. My computer is struggling right now. I don't know what's going on. It is struggling. Goodness. Goodness gracious. Okay. We'll just take me off the camera so that way you guys can look at this content, this information. Make sure that you, as you go through this, make sure that you stay to the end because after I go through kind of the product, I do want to highlight one particular, product during this process. So whether you are here for the information on the technology or whether you're here because you want to just simply learn something, I'll make sure that everyone gets fulfilled. Um, so we're going to go ahead and get started and get into this. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right. So the question that I have for some of you: have you been patched yet? And some of you are asking, Stephen, what are these patches? What are you talking about? Well, these patches are called LifeWave patches, and they are like no other ones on the market that are out there. And some people have used different types of patches for like vitamins. They've used patches for to get anti-inflammatory benefits through putting something in the skin. But these are very different, and we're going to go through that here briefly so that way you guys get an idea of how different they are and what they are. Right. So, why would you want to consider an activation patch? So, as we age, you begin to heal slower and you have essentially fewer cells, right? Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing ages of symptom. I think it's the first time that I heard about aging or age or symptoms of aging was from Chris, and he talked about it in the sense of aging is not necessarily a natural process. It's something that does happen to us, but the body is designed to essentially rejuvenate itself all the time. And as cells split, then what happens is they will then take over, or they will be birthed into an environment to where they are currently. So if you are in an unhealthy state, then the cells will then be birthed into a unhealthy state. Just imagine a child is birthed into a unhealthy life where they're not being cared for, they're not being taken care of, they're not being loved. If that happens, then they're going to struggle or they may not make it. There's studies that have been done that show how important physical touch for babies are, and what the type of nurturing that they need when they're first born. And if they're not given that nurturing or that human touch, they will actually suddenly death or die. And it was interesting that the study was done. It was actually done in Germany during the time of World War II. And what they were doing was they basically were just feeding the children, but they weren't giving them any human interaction to see what would happen. And obviously, it's a sad study that was done, but it lets us know how important it is for us to kind of have that human interaction moving forward, right? So at the age of only 30, half of your stem cells are active. At the age of 60, you lose almost all cell activity. So the older that you get, the less your cells are active. So what makes this so amazing to the point that we want to actually share this with our community? So the patch is exclusively designed to reflect particular wavelengths of energy. They stimulate specific points on the skin, which you would align with um, chakra points or acupuncture points. And this enables the patch to provide unique wellness benefits to anyone that's wearing them. one of the great things about them is that there are no drugs, they're non-transdermal, so nothing actually enters into the skin. There's no chemicals, right? So the science isn't new. Light therapy or light and science is not new, and it's been around for over 100 years. We see this in the beauty industry like crazy. You go to the gym, especially. I know Planet Fitness has those red light therapy saunas, essentially, where you step into them, and there is a red light machine basically that you just stand in. And what those light waves are doing is they are stimulating certain cells under your skin in order to do something or provide a benefit. So this technology is not new, and it has been used for, says 100 years, but it's been over 100 years. I mean, we literally use the sunlight right now in order to heal ourselves, in order to produce um, certain minerals and vitamins. The ancient Greeks had a center for studying the effects of different colored lights of the body, and it promoted health by focusing sunlight through colored glass in certain parts of the body in order to get a certain benefit or a particular benefit. So this is not something that is new. It's something that has been around for a long time. And the technology for us is new. But as they say, there's nothing new under the sun. We just do it differently. Now, the way that this works is the body emits heat, and that heat is on a spectrum, right? So including heat in the infrared spectrum. So the patches are simply designed, this is the simplicity of this. They're simply designed to heat up with the body's natural heat. And then what they do is you have a crystal structure inside of them. They're very thin. And as they begin to heat up, they begin to form this lattice that comes together. And then that lattice simply reflects your body's own light back into itself. I know this sounds science fiction, but we see it every day. If you look at night vision goggles, right? The reason that those goggles work is that they are picking up on a very specific type of light. And that then is shown in a lighter or whiter color, where everything else is shown in like green. If you think about a FLIR camera, those cameras are picking up heat and they're also picking up light. So we know that these things inside of ourselves emit light. So what those patches simply do is they reflect the light that you emit simply back into yourself on a particular acupuncture point, and that light will then cause the body or tell the body to create a certain type of mineral or peptide. Now, we do this once again every day. I want you to think about the sun because we talked about it for a second, but I want you to think about the sun and the way that we get vitamin D. Some people think that we get vitamin D because vitamin D is transmitted from the sun to us, and there's this conversation, right, where there's these secret vitamin D waves that then enter the body, and that's not how it works. What happens is that the sun tells the body in to create certain vitamins and minerals, and the body then activates and creates these on its own. So this is why if you look at studies where people are inside more, they work in hospitals or they work in offices, right? Anywhere that people work inside, you will very commonly find that they have lower levels of vitamin D. People that work outside, people that live in like California, Florida, when they do studies on these people where they spend a lot of time outside, believe it or not, these people tend to actually weigh less, and they actually tend to be more healthier because of the excess vitamin D that is being produced because they're outside in the sun more. So it is quite literally the exact same thing. What the company has just simply has done is to be able to pick up on that light frequency and emit it back into yourself. So, as I stated earlier, they are a lattice structure, and they are made of organic nanocrystals that are formulated to activate what's called a copper peptide inside of your own cells. Now, these actually reactivate your own cells, right? Once again, as I said, over time, cells begin to go dormant, genes begin to go dormant, stem cells begin to go dormant or be destroyed, and this copper peptide actually then begins to turn them back on, which helps with anti-aging. It stimulates the skin with light, general wellness. As I said earlier, they're non-transdermal, so you don't have to worry about anything going into your skin. Now, this is a very important part because a lot of times when you look at supplements, you look at medications, you look at pharmaceuticals, anything of that nature, the one thing that you have to be worried about is drugs or herbs or nutrition supplements interacting with each other in a negative way. The good thing about this is that they are non-transdermal, so there's nothing going into the skin and there's nothing for them to interact with in a negative way. So if you've ever been concerned or said, "Whoa, I gotta make sure that I don't use this because I'm taking this medication," you don't have to worry about that. So I just want to take that away from you and just understand that a lot of the benefits that people are receiving from this is literally because their own light frequency is being able to be reflected back into themselves. And that's extremely powerful. So this company, in and of itself, it's a over 20-year-old company, and they actually went from in the first about 17 years, about a $20 million company, and then they produced a new product. And they ballooned up to a $320 million company in the last 3 years. That's that's telling us something. It's people don't buy things that don't work. People don't buy things that they don't find value in. And there's people that are in this call right now that are actively using the patches. There's people that have gotten extreme benefits from the use of them, which they were not able to get before, right? And it's available in over 75 countries, almost completely worldwide. But once again, the company is still growing. So the inventor and the creator CEO, I'm not sorry, not doctor, researcher David Schmidt, he actually has over 150 different patents, and that's really important to understand if you understand patents. Patents are extremely difficult to get, and patents are the reason that companies will say they're patented or the technology is patented, because with a patent, in order for you to get approved for one vital thing must be there. They have to prove within studies that what they are saying they are doing, they have to prove that they do. I want to give you an example. So you have companies that will, I don't know. I've been working out a lot lately, and just you start working out, and you start looking up certain things on Instagram, and they'll start just feeding you things. So of course, right now my feed is just full of just workout, fitness, and just wellness stuff, which is fine. That's what I want. But I get a lot of ads and stuff for different products and things. And I want you to think about like protein or creatine, because these are probably the two most popular things that you can look at that people understand without getting into all the other little things. These are probably the most popular ones. Come on through, speaker. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, you know what I mean? For my retreat people, you know what she's talking about. But anyway, when you look at a patent, if you look at any kind of protein, if you look at a creatine, if you look at a nutritional supplement, whatever the case may be, we in general know that there are studies on these things, and we in general know that they have benefits. And without even going and doing any deep dive research, if you have ever heard of creatine or protein, I'm sure you can probably give me a couple of the benefits that you'd receive from them. Now, when you look at other different supplements as well, what you will not find is you typically will not find these supplements or proteins or creatines with a patent on them. Now, why is that? Well, Because a lot of times the supplements, right? Well, the supplement industry is non-regulated, which means they can put out whatever they want, right? But not just in the sense of just supplements, but they don't patent them, because if they do, then they have to prove or say that this product in particular does exactly what it's saying it's going to do. Now, why is that significant? Because you will have somebody who did the research on these products. You'll have somebody that did the research on something that they created, or a something that they put together, or a formula that they put together. And when they put that together, what they're doing is they will take the information and the research that has been done on a previous or a different product, and then say, well, you can receive these benefits because somebody else did the research on this product, and now you made the same product, and you'll receive these benefits as well. I want you guys to follow me here. Products are very difficult to patent because they have to be proven that they work. So this isn't a product that someone had already created and now they're just making their own version of it. There's a bunch of other transdermal patches out there that do that. They're not patented. This one is. And the reason is because it works. And I have over 100 studies that show that they do. So I really want to take a little bit of extra time there so that we understand that they're patented and what that means. So anytime that you see a product that has been patented and you want to look into it or whatever, you can essentially just believe that what they have done actually works. This is also the reason that we also promote root wellness, because their products are patented, right? They have proven that they work. And not only have they proven it scientifically, we have also taken them. Our community's been taking root products for years, and they can tell you that they work. So there's a reason that we don't bring, once again, a bunch of stuff to our community, but this is really the second thing we've ever brought, right? So once again, the technology in and of itself is patented, right? So it's not like a Me Too product, like you'll find in weight loss, skincare, supplements, hair care. You look at across the board, you're not going to find a shampoo that's patented. You're just simply not, right? And the reason for that is because they're simply taking the information and the research that somebody has already done, or maybe or something that has already been patented, and then they are just trying to replicate and do it in their own way, which is nothing necessarily wrong with that, but understand that this is not that. And that's important to understand. The patches are very simple to use. Sometimes fasting, sometimes changing our diet, sometimes all these things can be very difficult. Even taking, some supplements every day and remembering to do that can be very difficult. This is simple. You take a patch, you wear it in a specific place based upon the type of patch that you received, and you wear it for 12 hours. After 12 hours, you take it off, you throw it away, and then you simply put a new one on the next day. That's it, right? That's all you have to do. You can wear more than one patch at a time. So as we're not going to get into a bunch, but if you decided you wanted to get a bunch of patches and you're like, listen, this sounds great, I want to try out a bunch of things, then you can wear more than one at a time. You also want to ensure that you're drinking plenty of water. Now, the reason that it's important to drink plenty of water is because we know that water is transductive or transductive. It is a it's a transductor, right? And in order for light and electricity and things to flow properly, then water needs to be present. So if you are not hydrated, this product will detox you, and you may experience detox symptoms. So you want to ensure that you are hydrated so that as the peptides are then created, and the body is then becoming more efficient, it has the ability to create what it needs, so that way it can remove different toxins, so that way everything works. So you want to ensure, as always, that you are drinking plenty of water, but specifically while you are taking this or using the product or the technology, you want to ensure you're drinking plenty of water. So what that means is, and we have talked about this before, in our group, you don't want to use this with dry fasting. You can use the X39, or sorry, the LifeWave technology while fasting, just not dry fasting. So that's important to understand, right? So it's simple. It's a new technology that stimulates the skin with low levels of light, resulting in improved energy flow. So we're not just talking about energy as far as physical energy, you will receive that, but we're also talking about energy as far as your actual cellular energy, your ATP production, the energy that moves through your body that gives you life force energy. You will feel that. It supports improved exercise performance, which I have felt and feel. Supports improvements in strength and stamina, and we're not talking about just simply physical strength and just hmm, we're talking about strength and stamina in all kinds of ways. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Right, supports overall health and well-being. No drugs or stimulants, and of course it's patented. Now, a couple of different benefits that you can expect to receive, I'll say that you may receive, right? Rapid pain relief, and this can happen instantly. We have multiple testimonials of pain relief, people who have suffered from knee pain, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain for 20 years, and then they put a patch on, and then immediately the pain is gone. There's a reason for that. Reduced inflammation, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, supports wound healing, right? We understand that stem cells are the thing that help to heal the body. And as you age, you lose stem cells. This is why children that get hurt when they're young heal much faster than adults that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, because you have less stem cell production. So this particular patch assists with the production of stem cells, which is going to do so much for your life. The one thing about stem cells is that these set of stem cells that are created is they have the ability to then turn into anything. So anything that your body says that it needs, your body will then start to create using these stem cells. Now, this may be something that is going to cause immediate pain relief. And your body says, this is immediate. I need this. You will experience this. It may be something that is happening internally on a cellular level that you may not realize it's happening, but your body will use those stem cells to heal itself. And it may not be something that you'll ever notice, but your body is working. You'll feel more energy and vitality, more mental clarity, right? It'll enhance athletic performance, faster recovery from exercise. So for those of us that are out there that understand exercise, why is recovery important? Recovery is where the muscle is built. When we go to the gym, that's not where the muscle is built. That's where we go to break down the muscle, right? But then after we go to the gym or after we do an exercise or any kind of physical activity, the body then goes in and then it uses different amino acids. It takes those amino acids, it creates these protein structures, and then it uses those to then rebuild. So this is how you gain muscle. This is how you tone the body. This is how you get to the point where you are physically fit. If that's where you want to go, it happens in your recovery. It doesn't happen while you are doing the exercise. If you can recover faster, it then allows you to build muscle faster, which then helps to shape the body faster. And the more muscle you have, the more requirement of energy that the body needs. So the metabolism increases. When the metabolism increases, fat decreases because there's more of a need or there's more of a demand for energy. You see where we're going here, right? Improve skin appearance, which I think everyone that has used the LifeWave technology can attest to that. So these are just some of the real quick examples that we have here shown, that you can see where people have gotten some of their healing. But I want to kind of give you a little bit of the things that I experienced. So I got some questions here. So at our retreat, my brother John, Coach John, Johnny Jupiter, he had a bunch of ice wave patches, and he asked people to come up, and if they were currently experiencing any pain, and he patched them, gave them patches on the spot. So This is a testimonial from our retreat, which was just a week or so ago. She said, I tried Ice Wave at the HA retreat and it was amazing. My cramps are gone within minutes. So these are people that are in our community that were live at our retreat and literally in the moment were patched and then pain was reduced, right? For some people, we've heard that pain was reduced by 50% immediately. Other people, they had pain, they were instantly gone. At the end of the retreat on the last day, I gave out a 30 pack of one of the patches for sleep called Silent Night. And some of the people that were there were concerned that they were going to, start getting sleepy. And, I told them, listen, it doesn't work that way. But because of the body and the way that the body works, some people, as soon as they put the patch on, they started to feel tired. Now, granted, it was the end of the day. It was a long weekend, and that's good. And I wanted to ensure that everyone had a good night's rest before they, traveled back home. And there was one lady, I won't mention her name. She came up to me and she had her patch on, and she was like, "Steven, listen, it's been fantastic. Um, I think I'm going to go ahead and go because this patch, I'm getting tired, and I can feel my body winding down, and it's ready to go to sleep." And if you suffer from like insomnia or anything like that, the Silent Night patch is fantastic, right? Um, so why makes pain leave the body so fast? That's a great question. So depending on the type of pain that you have, a lot of our pain comes from inflammation, and we got a little time. So I'm going to actually get into inflammation a little bit more as we kind of wrap up this first portion. But a lot of times we deal with pain due to inflammation. And one of the things that the patches do is that they really do a good job of breaking down and removing inflammation extremely quickly. There's also signals that go from the area of pain to the brain, and there are nerves that then get damaged and then they can stay that way. So what the patches can do in that moment is they have the essentially the ability to tell the body you're not in pain or this is okay, and it can turn that signal off for pain. So everyone's a little bit different, and the reason why they may have pain in that area is going to be different, but that is essentially why they do that. Now, up until this point, the patch that we have talked about primarily has been by the name of X39. Now, I will drop a link in here for you guys here in a second. If you up to this point have been like, this sounds great, I want to give them a try, then you can do that. X39 is the flagship product, flagship technology. And what it essentially does is everything that we had mentioned. They're up until this point. And if you are like, I want to try one of them, X39 is the one that you want. Now, what I will be doing is I am going to be highlighting one of our patches tonight, which is called Eon. And Eon is specifically for inflammation. And I think that's really important because there's a lot of people that struggle with inflammation or inflammatory issues, inflammatory diseases. And while, yes, X39, of course, does what we like to call everything, it's kind of a catch all. There are other supporting patches, and these different patches do very specific things. They're very specific in what they do and how they help. So once again, for example, if you were just thinking, hey, these sound good, I want to give one a try, then you definitely want to go with like X39. If you are, if you want to continue watching, then great. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and I want to we'll do a little lesson for you guys, for those of you who are sitting here, and we'll learn a little bit more about inflammation and what it actually is, and how one of the other patches specifically assists with inflammation. So let me get that let me get that pulled up here for you. And and while I do that, if you guys have any questions about what I just kind of went over, right? Feel free to drop them in the chat there, or if you have had your own benefits. Um, actually, let me tell you a little quick story or my experience with them. I do apologize. I realized I didn't do that. So when I first started, using the patches, um, without going into a huge long monologue, because I do want to get to Eon, but without going into a lot, it took me about 3 weeks to experience anything. And any time that something new is introduced to us, I think that it's important to look at things with a hint of skepticism, I'll say, right? We should always look at things and we should consider, what is the person that is presenting this to me gaining through this, right? And I think that it's important to always look at things with a hint of skepticism. And when Chris brought this to me, that's what I did. I said, I'll look at this with a hint of skepticism. And it took about 3 weeks for me to actually go through and um, begin to really experience things. But the very first thing that I experienced is I was actually about to go on a vacation, and I got I got a little haircut, got my hair done. I was trying to look all good, you know what I'm saying? We were gonna be taking some pictures, and I just took a picture right here at my desk, and I posted it on my Instagram, and I got so many comments about my skin. And they just were like, bro, your skin looks so good, looks so clean. Like it just like and I really don't like look in the mirror and look like that, right? When you see yourself every day, you don't really pay attention to certain things. And I then went and I compared a picture from maybe 2 months ago, the similar pose in the same position, same lighting and everything. And there was a noticeable difference. And I was like, wow, like it does look really good, right? And it continued to happen. I went to the mall to make a purchase, and I got a compliment from somebody like, "Oh my god, your skin looks so good." Super random. This never happens to me, right? And I then said, I went in to talk to Chris, and he thought I was using the skincare patch because they have a skincare patch. And he was like, "Hey man, you using a skincare patch?" I was like, "No, why?" He said, "I don't know, man." He said, "Your face looks like you wear makeup." And I was like, "What?" He was just like, "Man, your skin looks really good." And I was like, "Dude, crazy thing is, I just got a compliment and I just posted a picture and people were just complimenting on my skin." And he was like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that's because the extra production of stem cells, right? I've also began to, of course, use other different patches. There's another video out there which you guys can check out on the YouTube channel if you want. It says he lost 6 pounds in one day, and that is due to another one of the patches, which is called SP6, which is their weight loss patch. And the last time that I had lost 6 pounds in a day, I was dry fasting, and I was well over 300 pounds. Um, Dry fasting previously, I would be happy if I lost 2 pounds, maybe three. But no, I actually lost 6 pounds in one day while I was fasting, regular fasting, right, with water. And I actually had a little bit of juice, and I lost 6 pounds. And that's just due to how SP6 works and the benefit of the endocrine system, how it helps to stimulate the thyroid, the liver, the gallbladder, the adrenals, the kidneys. So, once again, another video that you guys can check out. But so that was my moment where I was sold. It took me about a month and a week. And then I had that experience, and I was like, these things are legit. The reason I tell you that is because everyone will have a little bit of a different experience. Some people, which we call one patch wonders, will put on a patch and immediately see a benefit and that they were not expecting. They'll have instant pain relief. They'll feel more light. They'll brain fog will almost instantly disappear. These are out there, and that may be one of you. Most people, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks on average for them to really notice something significant. But if you notice little small things or pay attention to the small things, you will notice them almost immediately as well. One of the biggest things that people notice is better sleep, right? So once again, as I talked about muscle, if anyone is out there exercising, then recover, and we talk about recovery, your recovery primarily happens when you're sleeping. What else happens when we're sleeping? Our detoxification. If you've gone through any kind of fasting or weight loss protocol, you know that you lose the most weight when you're sleeping as well. So it's very important to understand that sleep is so beneficial. And when you get more quality sleep in general, you are going to make your body feel better. You're going to detox more, you're going to heal more, you'll lose more weight, you'll feel better, you'll wake up, you'll be rested, you'll be in a better mood. All of these things are attributed to better sleep. So sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I just noticed that I was getting a little bit better sleep, but I haven't noticed anything else. That's a huge benefit. And usually people notice that within a few days. So I just want you guys all to continue to pay attention to the small things. All right. All right. So let's talk let's like I said, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about inflammation, and I'm going to highlight one of the patches. Now the patch that we're going to talk about is called Eon. And Eon prior to X39 was one of their is basically their top selling patch. And then X39 was created, but obviously nothing changed, right? But Eon is extremely powerful. It is called or considered the anti-inflammatory patch. So if you deal with any kind of inflammatory disease, if you deal with excess inflammation just in your body, swelling, water retention, all of this is inflammation, right? And so I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but I want to just once again highlight one of the many patches that they offer, right? So let's talk about inflammation. I'll make that a little bigger so y'all can see that. Okay, I'll answer this question real quick. Stephen, the patches sound incredible for inflammation. How long do you plan to use the patches? It is recommended that you at least when you really get started with them, for every 10 years that you have been alive, you want to use the X39 for a month, right? So I am 38. So for me, it would be 4 months at minimum, right? To really kind of like reset stem cells, things of that nature, right? So I am coming up in a month two of my usage. And I have definitely seen a lot of benefits, especially because I'm in the gym and the recovery has been amazing by going to the gym. And then the next day I'm not sore or, working a new muscle group. And I'm literally not that sore, if at all. And then being able to work it again in the next few days, that's recovery. And I've noticed a huge increase in my strength and just the way that my body is shaping and how it's shaped in the last month and a half, 2 months. So, I mean, for me, I mean, I don't have a cutoff date. I've been using root products for 3 years, so I don't really have a cutoff date. But if you are concerned or if you're curious of how long should you use them, 1 month for every 10 years of life. But obviously, if you're getting benefits, then you really don't necessarily want to stop them, right? So like I said, let's highlight Eon. So so that you know, the X39 helps with inflammation. It is a catch-all. It is general wellness. There are other supporting patches. So if you go to the website, the link that I dropped, if you look at some of the other supporting patches, you will see there's a lot of different ones, and these all do very specific things, right? So once again, I want to just highlight the Eon patch. So let's talk about inflammation. So Inflammation is a natural response to injury or infection that occurs when the body's immune system releases chemicals to fight off harmful stimuli. This is just basically the definition of inflammation. Now, you can have two different types of inflammation. One of them is normal, one of them is not, and is bad, right? So the first one is normal. It's acute inflammation, right? Acute inflammation is a rapid response to injury or infection, such as a cut that can cause redness, swelling, pain. And these are symptoms that the body is healing. If you twist your ankle, you notice your ankle is going to swell, that's inflammation. The body is actually sending in hydration to the area, right? Hydration is going to be carrying minerals, vitamins, nutrients, stem cells, everything that the body needs to then heal this area. Right? I want you to think about it like a fire truck on a crowded highway and there was an accident and now all the cars have to move off to the side of the road causing a hole for the fire truck to get through. It's going to back all the traffic up. But that inflammation or that fire truck needs to get there so it can help heal the area. As soon as the area is taken care of, right? The cars are removed off the highway, the trucks move, then the flow of traffic can then resume at a normal rate, and then everything is good, right? So that's like inflammation going down. Now, what happens is that over time, if that fire truck never arrives, and then now that traffic is just constantly backed up, then eventually what we're going to have is what we consider chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the abnormal immune response that can last for months or even years. It can be caused by a number of things, including foreign substances like smoking, excess fat, right? Excess fat causes excess inflammation, right? Or allergens. Chronic inflammation can damage healthy cells, tissue, organs, and it's been linked to numerous health conditions, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and autoimmune conditions, right? So, chronic inflammation or inflammation that spans over a long period of time is extremely detrimental to your overall wellness, in particular to weight. You may have to go back a little bit, but there's a video that I did on fat loss and what fat is. One of the things that the fat cells store is toxins. When you have a lot of toxins that are being stored in the fat, the body is required to then buffer them with levels of inflammation. The body is always using the inflammation as a defense mechanism to protect itself. So a lot of times people think that they're just, oh, I have all this fat and da 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 da, right? But you may actually, of course, there may be fat there, but there's also a lot of inflammation that's there as well because we are in a very toxic state. So by reducing inflammation, this also can help the body to then decrease those toxins and remove those toxins out of the fat cells. It will allow the nutrition to be released. It'll allow the hydration to be released from the fat, which then in turn helps with overall fat loss. So, a reduction of inflammation not only reduces weight, but a reduction of inflammation also helps to reduce fat because they're not the same. But we'll keep the party going, right? How does chronic inflammation contribute to weight gain, right? So, a lot of people don't know this, but chronic inflammation helps to or causes insulin resistance. Inflammation can repair the body's ability to process insulin, inflammation can impair the body's ability to process insulin, which can lead to higher glucose levels and fat accumulation in the liver. Now, we understand because you guys are part of AHA, insulin resistance is bad, right? Bad, bad, bad. But when we are chronically inflamed, then our insulin is high. It hurts our blood sugar levels, which can, of course, lead to diabetes, right? Diabetes essentially can stem from chronic inflammation. So maybe you're like, oh, Stephen, I don't eat that bad, but you may be eating something that is causing chronic inflammation, which then causes insulin resistance, which then can make you a diabetic. Hormonal changes. Inflammation can alter hormones and your metabolism, which can lead to, of course, weight gain. So sometimes we think that our hormones are out of whack or something, is not being produced enough, or we just need to balance our hormones, which is a buzz phrase right now. But it may not be that your hormones are necessarily out of whack, or they may be out of whack, but the root cause of it may just be due to chronic inflammation. Huh. Appetite. Inflammation can interfere with the body's natural satiety hormones, which can lead to overeating. So, if you are chronically inflamed and you are not releasing the hormones that are telling your body that, hey, I'm not hungry anymore, this can lead to chronic overeating. If you're not feeding the liver properly or eating leafy greens and certain foods that are high in different fructoses that specifically feed the liver, this can also lead to appetite, right? Leptin levels. Inflammation and weight gain can impair the production of leptin. So, this is the hormone that we were talking about with appetite, a hormone that regulates metabolism and appetite. Low leptin levels can slow metabolism and make you feel hungry. So, you may not be hungry. Most of the time, when we are hungry, we're actually probably not. And we know that if you've done anything like 3 days of fasting or more, you know that eventually you get to the point where you're like, I'm not really that hungry, right? This is because the body is now being has the ability to reduce inflammation, and then it can then go and start to kind of repair some of those hormone receptors. It can go in and it allows things to move a little bit more. That traffic jam that we talked about can get removed, and now things can start to flow through the body more properly. Cytokines. The inflammatory process releases cytokines in large amounts, which can increase visceral fat. Cytokines are beneficial, but too much of anything can be bad, right? So, visceral fat is important because a lot of times you will find that people that are skinny or thin or normal size can have a lot of health conditions, and then they will get like a DEXA scan, or they'll get their body fat percentage done, and they'll find that they have a lot of visceral fat. And what that will do is, visceral fat is the fat around the organs, and it can start to smother the organs. It can smother your heart, your liver, right? It can smother your lungs and can make just hard to breathe. And they do a scan of your lungs, and you're like, well, your lungs look fine. Well, they're not scanning at or looking at the visceral fat, and it's making it difficult for everything to work properly. Fasting really helps reduce visceral fat, but reducing inflammation also helps to reduce visceral fat as well. You have multiple different types of fat. And you have like subcutaneous fat, which is like the fat on top of your skin. It's just the normal fat that everyone has. While it may be unsightly for some people, it's not necessarily always lethal. Visceral fat will kill you. And if you are thin and you have a lot of visceral fat, that's even worse. Sleep deprivation can increase the production of inflammatory hormones, including cortisol, which can contribute to weight gain. Hmm. So, as I said earlier, we're talking about X39. When you are dealing with, or you're seeing the benefit of better sleep, you are removing sleep deprivation, which then decreases your cortisol that may be chronically high. It allows the inflammation to come down, right? And then the body can decrease weight overall. So, what you will find a lot of times, what people will notice is that they may have a slight decrease in weight, but their clothes will fit them better and they're not changing anything, right? This just simply comes from the decrease in inflammation in the body. This is important. So let's talk a little bit about amino acids. Thanks, Stephen, for the detailed answer. You're welcome. All right, so we're gonna stay with me, guys. We're gonna talk about amino acids here. Right. So, what is an amino acid? We hear about it. People have talked about it. I've mentioned them. What is an amino acid? Amino acids are organic compounds that serve as the building blocks of proteins. So, remember when I said earlier that the body will use the amino acids after recovery in order to build proteins? A lot of people don't know this, right? Or just because of the name, proteins built inside of the body from amino acids and protein that you eat are not the same. A lot of the protein that you eat is unusable. And this is just science. What the body does is it takes the protein that you eat, whether it's from meat or whether it's a plant protein, it then breaks it down, and then it makes turns it into an amino acid. Those amino acids will go into what's called an amino acid pool. That amino acid pool will then house all the amino acids you got from your food. And when your body demands a specific type of protein structure, the body will then create that protein structure and send it to the place that it needs to go. You will also hear about essential, non-essential. We'll talk about those briefly. And then you have complete proteins, right? Which complete proteins have all nine essential amino acids. Incomplete proteins are still fine, but they don't have all nine. And they're all needed, right? But they're critical for protein synthesis, energy production, immune support, enzyme function, which helps break down food, and a ton of other things, neurotransmitter production. You have a total of 20 different amino acids that make up the body, right? Nine are essential and 11 non-essential. Now, now here's the difference. Essential amino acids cannot be created by the body and must be obtained through our diet. That's very important to remember. So when you hear about amino acids, understand that there's some that we can create, there's some that we cannot create. Now, just because we can create them does not mean that we need to just not be focusing on getting them in our diet. That's important because we understand that our diet, a lot of our diets are through processed food, and there's no amino acids in our processed foods. The soil has been damaged to the point where so much of our minerals have been removed. We're not even given, we don't even have what we need to create non-essential amino acids. So getting them from another source is very beneficial, right? So non-essential amino acids are amino acids and a healthy body can create. Once again, a healthy body. If you are in a sick or diseased or damaged body, you may struggle with creating non-essential amino acids. They are absolutely essential though. So I understand the terminology, but I don't like it because people hear non-essential and they think, "Oh, I don't need this." No, you absolutely do. It just means that essential amino acids are things that you must get in your diet. Amino acids combat excess inflammation by inhibiting pro-inflammatory cytokines, like we talked about, activating anti-inflammatory pathways throughout the body, improving the intestinal barrier function or the gut, reducing oxidative stress, things that tear down or damage your cells or make you older or age you faster, metabolizing anti-inflammatory agents. So if you don't have enough essential amino acids, the body cannot metabolize the anti-inflammatory agents that are there or basically destroy them. So amino acids are extremely beneficial and we need to focus on getting them more, right? So when you have an excess of amino acids, and I talked about this at the retreat just for a little bit, but when you have an excess of amino acids, this is something a lot of people don't know. They don't just sit in the pool. The body can actually utilize them, right? So it can change to other things inside of the body that you may need. So if you find that you are getting a lot of different essential or non-essential amino acids, or you eat you just eat a lot of things that just have tryptophan in it, right? So you eat meat, you got a lot of turkey, and a lot of turkey has tryptophan in it. You find that you have a lot of tryptophan, the body can actually take that amino acids and then repurpose it for use in some other way. It doesn't have to place it into the amino acid pool to create proteins, right? So you don't just waste amino acids that you intake or that you create, the body still uses them, right? This is really cool. So it can use it for glucose. So it can turn the amino acid into a glucose structure for energy. It can use it to for hormones. So if you are low in specific types of hormones, the body can actually take those amino acids and create different hormones, vitamins that the body may be deficient in, right? Or different neurotransmitters. So if you just focus on getting or increasing amino acid production or getting it through your diet, the body can then actively go through and then provide you with different minerals and nutrients that you may be deficient in. That's really cool, right? This is one of the reasons why we talk about fruit. It's so beneficial because fruit is high in amino acids, right? So to kind of wrap up, we're going to really quickly talk about Eon. right? So, as I said earlier, we understand that Eon is the inflammation patch or the anti inflammatory patch. You heard all of the benefits of amino acids, you heard the benefits of inflammation, or I'm sorry, of decreasing inflammation. And this patch in particular focuses on inflammation, right? So, the Eon patch increases a couple of different non-essential amino acids, right? Once again, you have to get essential amino acids from your diet. So it focuses on non-essential amino acids. Now, this specifically comes from clinical trials. Clinical trials is what they use to help get their patent, right? I'm trying to wrap us all up and bring it all together for you. So this has been clinically proven and patented to do what it says it's going to do. So the Eon patch increases glutamate, cysteine, glutamine, serine, and proline. It also is considered the anti-aging patch by the inventor David. It helps to reduce inflammation, helps to reduce cortisol, C-reactive proteins, and overall stress in the body. It also elevates SOD or superoxide dismutase, which is important for your body's stress response. So, if you don't have the correct proteins, right, in the body, when you receive stress, the body cannot process them and they will then sit and linger and then they begin to degrade, which then hurts or damages other cells, increasing oxidative stress. I hope I try to really make this as simple as possible so that we just understand without getting too sciencey. So I really hope this is just making sense or just it sounds good, right? Now, um, right, and it also balances the autonomic nervous system, right? So your rest and digest mode of your body. So that's super important. I could talk about the autonomic nervous system. That's a whole nother call in and of itself, right? But as well as it helps to balance hormonal production, and it is known as the happy patch, right? So you will experience a increase in your mood because of the increase in dopamine and serotonin that's being produced by you providing the body with the ability to create these hormones properly, right? So we understand what this patch in particular, Eon, does and how it increases these non-essential amino acids, right? And it has been done so clinically. But what does each one of these amino acids do? So glutamate is an important neurotransmitter for the brain, and it plays a role in learning and memory, right? So it's derived from the amino acid glutamine. So if you struggle with your memory, if you struggle with focus, brain fog, glutamate is very good for helping to relieve those. And the Eon patch specifically creates or tells your body due to the phototherapy technology, it tells your body, I need you to create more glutamate. That's literally how this works. It's not giving you glutamate, it's not putting it inside of you. Your body naturally produces this. But if you are not in a healthy body, in a very healthy state, then you may not naturally produce the amount that you need, right? Or if you have lots of heavy metals in the body, right? The receptors may not be able to then get the signal to create the different non essential amino acids that you need. So the light then tells the body, I need you to create more glutamate. You're not creating enough. Right? What does this do? Enhances brain function and cognitive abilities, supports energy and metabolism in cells or ATP, promotes gut health and nutrient absorption, aids in protein synthesis and muscle growth, helps regulate mood and mental clarity. Cysteine is a sulfur containing amino acid that contributes to the antioxidant defense and detoxification. Another amino acid that helps with detox, promotes the production of glutathione, a powerful antioxidant or the master antioxidant. Every cell in the body essentially uses glutathione in some way. Same with magnesium, right? But not just that, the liver uses it the most. The liver uses tons of glutathione. They actually have a glutathione patch, but we're not talking about glutathione today. But cysteine is increased dramatically, which then helps to increase the production of natural glutathione in the body, which means that you will detox easier. You will detox at a more normal pace, right? Which is naturally going to help you also decrease weight. Supports immune function and overall health, aids in detoxifying the body by binding to heavy metals, strengthens skin and hair and nails through keratin production, enhances liver health by supporting detox pathways. So if you're concerned about heavy metals, right? Cysteine can assist in with removing heavy metals. Once again, these amino acids or this product has been clinically proven and patented to show a noted increase in these specific amino acids. By not putting anything in your body, it does it by itself. All you're doing is telling your body, create this due to its own light. So your body is putting off a certain frequency, it's putting off a certain light, and then that light is reflected back into self. And who knows your body better than your body? Not your doctor, not Steven, not even your conscious mind. Your body and your cells know what they need. So it will hear the signal and say, "Oh, I'm not making enough of this. I'll make more." Right? Glutamine, the most abundant amino acid in the body, playing a key role in gut health, immune function, and muscle recovery. A lot of people need have gut issues, and if you have any issues with um, like leaky gut or anything of that nature, then you probably need more glutamine. There's tons of glutamine supplements, and they all specifically focus on the gut. If you have gut issues, then naturally producing more glutamine from your own body will then, of course, assist with your gut issues, right? Supports gut health by maintaining the integrity of the intestinal lining, number one, right? Enhances muscle repair and reduces soreness after exercise. This is part of probably why I feel so good. Boosts immune function, especially during stress or illness, promotes energy production for cells, particularly in the gut and the immune system. All this is gut, 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 gut. So many people have gut issues. Eon. Assist in balancing the body's pH levels by neutralizing excess acid. Here it says excess, not all acid, because we do need acids, but excess. A lot of us have excess acid. Serine is crucial for brain function and aids in the formation of cell membranes and neurotransmitters. Supports healthy memory and cognitive function, helps maintain healthy cell membranes, aids in the production of enzymes and protein, boosts the immune function by supporting antibodies, enhances mood and regulation through neurotransmitter production. So brain health, right? And then the last one, proline. Vital for collagen production, making it essential for skin, joint, and tissue health. If you add a little bit of vitamin C to your diet, whether that is through a supplement or whether that is through citrus fruits, this dramatically assist with your skin, joint, tissue health by helping to create collagen. Promotes collagen production for healthy skin and joints, supports wound healing and tissue repair, enhances the elasticity in the skin and the connective tissues, helps maintain cardiovascular health by strengthening blood vessels, aids in reducing signs of aging by supporting skin structures. Now, why did I specifically go through each one of these amino acids, particularly, and what they do individually? I did that because this product, this technology, and specifically Eon, has been shown to then dramatically increase the body's natural production of glutamate, which gives these benefits, cysteine, which provides these benefits, glutamine, serine, and proline. So, by essentially telling your body to create these five amino acids in a higher rate, you can receive, or let me say, may receive all of these benefits simply by telling your body, I need you to create more of these. And that patch, specifically Eon, because we're highlighting Eon, has not only been clinically proven to do that and show those benefits, but it is patented, saying that this actually does what it says it has done. And that's a really big deal. So, the question was, this is why Eon patch. So yes, specifically the one we're talking about. Right. So if you missed the earlier when we talked about X39, of course you can always rewatch or go back and you can see those the benefits. Um, but this I wanted to highlight Eon specifically for the anti-inflammatory benefits and the production of amino acids and what that specifically can mean for your body. right? So if you have any issues with any of the things that I had mentioned, or one of the things that may that is important for you is gut health, then Eon may be a very beneficial patch for you, right? Due to its clinical ability to increase those five non-essential amino acids, right? I hope this makes sense. Um, so what I'm gonna do for you is I'm going to drop this link in the chat once again for you guys. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of information. If you are interested in the LifeWave patches, then definitely, if someone invited you to watch this live, make sure that you get back with them and speak to them on how to get started. If you had no idea about LifeWave and you're like, this sounds good, you're more than welcome to click on the link there that I have dropped for you, and you can go check them out. If you're not sure which ones you want to try, I 100% recommend X39. If you can only get one patch, I would suggest that one. If you are looking to get more than one patch, inside of this link, if you sign up for what's called a core enrollment pack, what this will do is it will allow you to become what's called a brand partner, or essentially an affiliate. And number one, it gives you a discount, so you get the wholesale pricing on the patches. But it also will essentially allow you in the future to begin sharing, if you would like to share the information with other people and you want to make a small commission on it. So both of those options are available. We because of the our recommendation, because of the timing of which, or the length of time you want to take them or use them to really start receiving benefits, whether you are deciding that you want to just try them for yourself, or you're like, hey, listen, you know what, this sounds really good, maybe I want to share this with some friends. We essentially suggest to get the core pack, because it will give you 3 months of X39, or you can mix and match. So if you're like, listen, that X39 sounded good, that Eon sounded good, right? You can then go ahead and get an X39. You can get some of the Eon patches, and you can kind of mix and match in that in under a core enrollment. You would just simply go to join us when you click on that link, and it will help you to um, you'll be able to then set up a core enrollment, which will once again give you more patches, and you get them cheaper at a wholesale rate than the retail price. So you have some options. Now, one last thing, because I know that this was a lot of information, and for some of you, you probably just saw that um, hey, there's a live from AHA, and I'm gonna jump on, and you're just like, I've never heard of these before, and they sound good, but I'm really not sure what I wanna get, or I have questions about some of the other patches. I do have a link on my coaching booking page that actually will allow you to do a quick 10-minute call. So if you have like just questions about different types of patches, or if you have something specific that you have going on and you're like, hey, listen, Stephen, this sounds good, I just need to know what they do so I know which one to get. You're more than welcome to set up one of those calls. They are 10 minutes, and I do try to stick to that. So if you have questions, I do ask that you just write them down beforehand. It's free, so there's no cost. They are audio calls, and I'll jump on a call with you, and we can figure out what it is that you're looking for, and which one of the patches may work best for you. So I did drop that, like I said, in the link. You can always go to the AHA website as well, and go to Work With Us tab, and you can of course get to my booking link from there as well. Once again, it is there's no cost to you, but once again, I do try to keep them simple, and I do ask that you just write down your questions beforehand, so that way we can move through them expeditiously and get you the information that you need. So um, we'll wrap there. Are the patches waterproof? I'll say they're water resistant. So the patches themselves, you can submerge them in water. Yes. You can shower with them. Yes. Now the adhesive, of course, it is an adhesive. So if you get water in between it, right, then it can start to loosen them up. But for the most part, as long as you're not like in the ocean, like for a long period of time, or they're not really recommended for swimming, things of that nature, then you should be fine. If you are in a situation where you find yourself sweating a lot, or if you're working out, you also do have the ability to like tape it to the inside of your shirt. And as long as it is within close proximity of your skin and the body heat can warm up the patch, then you'll have no problem. It'll still provide you with those benefits. But obviously, if you can stick it to your skin, that would be ideal. Gonna go ahead and cop some me on right now. Hey, listen. Um, you start putting X39, Eon, SP6, you start mixing and matching those, putting them together, you're going to start seeing some crazy benefits. Um, so, anyway, I hope this was beneficial. Um, whether you decide to get them or not, or you want to wait to hear more, you can of course join AHA communities where we have our LifeWave group, where we have tons of testimonials of people that are sharing their experiences, the different things that they're benefiting. This is the real deal. And as I said, AHA has only brought two products outside of AHA products, Root and now LifeWave, and there's a reason. We have vetted and tested them, and we are confident in their ability and the fact that they actually work. So, if you guys have any questions, once again, feel free. You can shoot me an email at Stephen at a healthyalternative.org. You can, like I said, schedule one of those 10-minute calls if you are like, hey, I want to join, I want to make a purchase. Just not 100% sure maybe how I want to put them together. You can set up one of those 10-minute calls, or you can, of course, go to the link that I have dropped, and you guys can go ahead and make a purchase there as well. Um, so that's all I have. So thank you for spending your time with me this evening. I do appreciate it. Thanks for being patient with our little technology issues that we've been having. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to reach out, and do my best to help you out there. So thank you once again. I hope you guys all have a great evening. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.